Good evening, I'm Nathan Shinagawa, and the NFL season is just 2 short months away. So let's take a look at some of those storylines and reports that are going around throughout the league. Starting off with the Houston Texans, who just gave wide receiver Nico Collins a 3-year, $72.5 million extension. Collins has had a solid career. When first drafted in the 3rd round of the 2021 draft, he was a decent, albeit minor, 400-yard player on the Texans offense. But after being paired with Rookie of the Year winning quarterback CJ Stroud last season, Collins broke out, finishing with 1,297 yards and 8 touchdowns. However, with the Texans' recent acquisition of All-Pro receiver Stephon Diggs and second-year Tank Dell returning from injury, Collins' role could be vastly reduced. This leaves some fans to worry that this new contract could be a bit of an overpay, though head coach DeMeco Ryans has no such worry. We want to put defenses in binds, and I think with those 3 guys it allows us to do that because they are so different and they can all do different things. So it seems Ryan is confident that all 3 of those guys will be big contributors in that offense next year. Now, you can play with 3 different receivers on the field, but you can't play with 3 different quarterbacks on the field. So next, we're going to take a look at the Denver Broncos, which is a team that has some questions on who will be at the helm for Week 1. There are currently 3 quarterbacks on the Broncos roster. Former New York Jet Zach Wilson, 1-year tenured Jarrett Stidham, and newly drafted Bo Nix. When asked to comment on the quarterback room as a whole, Broncos head coach Sean Payton had this to say.
You know, it's kind of the orphan group. You know, all of them they're all orphan dogs. You know, they've come from somewhere, but they're doing good, and it's a good room.
Zach Wilson was drafted with the 2nd overall pick in 2020 by the New York Jets. Expectations were high, as is for any early first-round pick, but this was especially true for Wilson, who was in a stacked class that included names like Trevor Lawrence, Jamar Chase, and Micah Parsons. But 3 years into his career, and Wilson has been far from the prospect he was built to be. Never throwing more than 2,500 yards or double-digit touchdowns, Wilson has been benched multiple times. Last year, the Jets seemed ready to move on from him completely after trading for Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers. That was until he tore his Achilles in the season opener, and the Jets were forced to roll with Wilson for another year. But this just resulted in another poor season from Wilson and a 7-10 record despite the Jets having the 2nd highest ranked defense. This offseason, the Jets finally moved on, trading him for a measly late-round pick swap. While he knows his tenure in New York was rough, Wilson is looking to reestablish his career in Denver.
We've gone through it, right? I mean, you can see why it's been 3 years of tough challenges, but at the end, that's what makes you stronger, and you just need somebody to believe in you and believe in yourself and be able to just keep working hard and getting better. There's bittersweet moments and everything. You know, I was grateful for my experiences there and the guys. You know, I miss the guys out there and everything too. You know, but at the same time, a fresh start's good, you know, and I'm excited to attack the new challenge.
Then we have Jarrett Stidham. A 4th-round pick in 2019, Stidham has been a career backup. It wasn't until Week 17 of the 2022 season when he finally got a chance to start. A Las Vegas Raider at the time, Stidham threw for an impressive 365 yards and 3 touchdowns in the team's primetime game against the San Francisco 49ers. This performance was enough for the Broncos to give him a 2-year, $10 million deal. Stidham ended up starting a couple games with them as well last season, after starter Russell Wilson was benched. Sean Payton did have a bit more to say about the newest addition to their quarterback room, Bo Nix.
He's farther along than most would be. I mean, you know, we're talking about a player who's played 61 games. He's extremely smart. He's picked it up very quickly.
Nix was drafted by the Broncos with the 12th overall pick in this year's draft. The former Oregon Duck was a Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year in 2023, finishing with 4,508 yards, 45 touchdowns, and just 3 interceptions. Impressive numbers that may be, Nix was not expected to go nearly as high as 12th by most draft experts. PFF had him ranked outside of the top 50 prospects due to concerns with his old age, 24, and his previous shaky performances while on Auburn. However, the Broncos ignored all these concerns, taking another guy for their quarterback room in the very first round. So as we can see, this group of orphan dogs, as Payton puts it, consists of a career underperformer, a guy looking to prove himself long-term, and a rookie with mixed expectations. All 3 have a path to prove themselves this year. They just have to win that starting job. Finally, we're going to end with the Miami Dolphins. Now, this is a team that has also just given a young receiver an extension in Jalen Waddle, but in this case, the Dolphins have one more guy that's looking to get paid. Quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is entering his 5th year in the NFL, the final year on his rookie contract. Although he initially struggled with injuries, Tua had his best year yet in 2023. He finishes the league leader in passing yards with 4,624 yards, 29 touchdowns, and was named to the Pro Bowl. However, the Dolphins still failed to find any postseason success or even win their division. To finish off the year, while playing against other contenders like the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs, Tua had some of his worst games of the season. Quarterbacks such as Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Jalen Hurts, all from Tua's draft class, have gotten extensions worth $50 million a year or more. Many NFL insiders believe Tua could ask for similar money, and with no playoff wins to his name, fans worried that this could be a bit too much. After holding out for the first few days of OTAs, Tua has returned to the team. However, with the fifth and final year of his rookie contract just 2 months away, the timetable for a new deal has moved to sooner rather than later. We'll see how that situation in Miami and many others throughout the league play out as OTAs continue and the season draws closer. That's it for tonight. Once again, with Duck TV Sports, I'm Nathan Shinagawa.